Good evening, and welcome to tonight's story. If you are listening alone, late at night, I want you to listen carefully, because some roads are not meant to be taken twice. There is only one road into this mountain pass, and no one has ever returned. I heard this story from a night driver who no longer dares to drive after midnight. He said the mountain pass looks ordinary during the day. Tourists take photos. Locals pass through without thinking twice. But after 2 in the morning, the road begins to change. That night, thick fog rolled in without warning. Not drifting fog, but heavy fog that swallowed the headlights and pressed against the windshield like a living thing. The GPS showed a straight road ahead, but the road felt wrong. Too quiet. No insects, no wind, no distant engines, just the sound of tires on wet asphalt and his own breathing. After 30 minutes, he noticed something strange. He passed the same warning sign again. Sharp curve ahead. He was sure he had already passed it. A few minutes later, the same sign appeared once more. Then again. That was when the fog thickened even further and the radio turned on by itself. No music, no news, only static and a slow breathing beneath it. Breathing that did not belong to him. He checked the rearview mirror. The back seat was empty, but the glass was fogged up, as if someone had just exhaled. At exactly 3 a.m., the engine suddenly stalled. The car rolled to a stop, and that was when he saw her. A woman standing on the side of the road. She wore an old white dress, soaked at the hem. Her long hair covered her face. She did not wave. She did not move. She was simply standing there, waiting. The fog parted around her, as if it refused to touch her. He told himself not to look, not to open the door, not to acknowledge her. But the moment he restarted the engine, her head snapped up, and she smiled. Not with warmth, not with teeth, but with a smile that stretched too far, as if her face had forgotten how to stop. The radio crackled again. This time, a whisper came through. "You're going the wrong way." His hands shook. He stepped on the gas. As the car passed her, he felt a sudden weight in the back seat. The suspension dropped. The breathing returned. Closer now, right behind his ear. He did not look back. He did not dare. The road began to slope downward, deeper into the mountain. The trees leaned inward. The headlights barely reached beyond the hood. Then he saw it. A road sign. There is only one road in. No arrow, no warning, just those words. The GPS screen went black. The engine died again. This time, the car doors unlocked on their own. The breathing stopped. Silence. Then a soft knock. From inside the car, on the back of his seat, he felt a cold finger trace his neck, and a voice whispered, "You weren't supposed to turn around." When authorities found the car days later, it was parked neatly on the roadside, engine cold, doors open, no signs of struggle, no footprints leading away. Only one thing was strange. The driver's seat was pushed all the way forward, as if someone very tall had been sitting behind it. And on the fogged rear window, written from the inside, were these words: "There is only one road out, and you're already on it." If you are driving through a mountain pass tonight, and you see a woman standing in the fog, do not stop. Do not look back, because some roads don't lead anywhere. They only take you deeper, and no one has ever returned. He slowed the car, his hands tightening on the steering wheel. The fog thickened, swallowing the road ahead until the headlights felt useless, like candles in a cave. The GPS screen flickered, froze, then recalculated, only to show the same straight line again. No turns, no exits, just one long, endless stretch cutting through the mountain. That was when he noticed the radio. It had turned on by itself. At first, it was only static, a low, wet, crackling sound, like something breathing through water. He reached to turn it off, but the volume knob did nothing. The static grew louder. Then, slowly, painfully, it began to form a voice. Not words, just a faint whisper repeating the same sound over and over. Turn back, turn back, turn back. His heart slammed against his ribs. He shouted into the empty car, telling himself it was exhaustion, stress, lack of sleep. He rolled down the window to clear his head. The air outside was ice cold, and it smelled wrong. Not like rain or pine trees, but like damp soil, like something that had been buried for a very long time. That was when he noticed her. At the edge of the headlights, standing where the fog was thickest, was a woman. She wore a long, pale dress soaked at the hem as if she had been standing in water. Her hair hung forward, hiding her face. One arm was raised. She was waving. Not urgently, not desperately, just slow, gentle, repetitive movements of her hand. He slammed the brakes. The car skidded and stopped inches from where she stood. For a moment, she didn't move. Then she took a step forward, and another. Her feet didn't touch the ground. They hovered just above the asphalt, gliding closer without making a sound. He locked the doors. The radio voice changed. It stopped whispering and began laughing. A soft laugh at first, then many voices overlapping, whispering and laughing at the same time, filling the car until his ears rang. The woman stopped beside the driver's window. Slowly, painfully, she lifted her head. Her face was not rotting. It was worse. Her skin was smooth, too smooth. Her eyes were wide open, unblinking, reflecting nothing but fog. And her mouth was stretched into a smile that never reached her eyes. She raised her hand and knocked on the glass. Once, twice, 3 times. The echo inside the car like it came from inside his skull. He screamed and slammed the accelerator. The car lurched forward, tires screaming as it tore through the fog. In the rearview mirror, he saw her still standing there, still waving, getting smaller and smaller until she vanished. He didn't slow down. He didn't breathe. He drove until the fog suddenly disappeared, as if a curtain had been pulled back. Sunrise. The mountain road ended at a familiar checkpoint. He collapsed when he stepped out of the car. When he told the locals what he had seen, they went silent. An old man finally spoke. "That woman," he said quietly, "only appears to drivers who are already lost. Lost even when the road goes straight. Lost even when there is only one way forward." The driver asked what happened to those who followed her. The old man didn't answer. He only pointed down the mountain, to a steep ravine hidden by trees. They found dozens of wrecks down there. Old ones, new ones, some with doors wide open, some with engines still cold, and none with bodies inside. The driver never took that road again, but sometimes, at exactly 3 in the morning, his radio turns on by itself, and through the static he hears a familiar voice, soft, patient, waiting, "Turn back." And somewhere deep in the fog of the mountain pass, a woman is still standing at the edge of the road, waving. Because there is only one road into this mountain pass, and once you take it, you never truly leave. The driver believed that once he reached the checkpoint, the nightmare was over. He was wrong. For weeks afterward, nothing seemed unusual. He returned to his routine, drove only during the day, avoided mountain roads, and refused any job that required travel after midnight. He told himself the fog, the woman, the voices, everything had been a hallucination born from exhaustion. Until the dreams started. Every night at exactly 3 a.m., he woke up sitting upright in bed, heart racing, the sound of static ringing in his ears. In his dreams, he was always back on that road, the same curve, the same fog, the same woman standing just beyond the headlights. But this time, she was closer. Each night, the distance between them shortened. At first, she stood at the edge of the road, then a few steps in, then right beside the driver's door, and eventually inside the car. In the dreams, she never spoke. She only stared at him with those unblinking eyes and smiled wider each time, as if she were patiently waiting for something he had forgotten to do. One morning, he noticed something strange: mud on his shoes. Dark, damp soil pressed into the grooves of his soles, even though he hadn't left his apartment all night. The next night, he woke to the sound of his car alarm blaring in the distance. When he ran outside, his car was still parked where he left it, doors locked, engine cold. But the driver's seat was reclined far back, as if someone else had been sitting there. The radio was on. Static filled the air, and beneath it, the faintest sound of breathing. He sold the car the next day. That should have ended it. But the road doesn't care about vehicles, only people. Months later, he moved to another city, a coastal town far from any mountains. He took a job that didn't involve driving at all. For a while, the dreams faded, the static stopped, the woman disappeared from his sleep, until one night, during a heavy storm, the power went out. In the darkness, his phone lit up, a notification from a map application he hadn't opened in months. Continue route? The screen showed a single straight line, no destination, no starting point, just one road. His hands trembled as he deleted the app, but the next morning he found something scratched in the condensation on his bathroom mirror. A message written backwards, as if meant to be read from the other side. You turned around. That night, he finally understood. The mountain pass never lets anyone go. Some leave their cars behind, some leave their bodies, and some walk away thinking they escaped. But the road keeps a part of you, a memory, a shadow, a promise. Years later, a new driver would take that same mountain pass. Fog would roll in, the radio would turn on, and at the edge of the headlights, a familiar figure would appear. But this time, she would not be alone. Beside her, just a step behind, would stand a man, his face pale, his eyes hollow, his mouth opening slowly into a smile he no longer controlled. He would raise his hand, and he would wave, because there is only one road into this mountain pass, and no one ever truly returns. They only wait for someone else to take their place. Exactly 3 a.m., the road would feel longer than it should. The new driver would notice the same things. The silence that presses against your ears. The way the fog doesn't move like weather, but like something thinking. The way the headlights seem afraid to reach too far ahead. He would pass the warning sign once, then again, then a third time. And somewhere deep in his chest, a quiet fear would bloom, because he would realize he hadn't seen a single turnoff, a single side road for miles. The radio would crackle to life on its own. Not music, not voices at first, just static, thick and heavy, like it's coming from underground. Then breathing, slow, calm, patient. He would tell himself not to look in the mirror, but everyone always does. And in the back seat, just for a second, he would see the outline of a woman's shape in the fogged glass. No face, No movement, just the suggestion that someone is sitting there, waiting. When the car finally slows, when the engine hesitates, when the headlights flicker, he will see her standing at the edge of the road, the woman in white. She won't wave frantically, she won't cry. She will simply raise her hand and wave slowly, as if greeting an old friend, as if she already knows him. And if he stops, if he opens the door, if he asks her where she needs to go, the fog will close in, the radio will go silent, and the road behind him will disappear. Later, people will find his car, parked neatly at the side of the mountain pass, engine cold, doors unlocked, radio still humming with static, but no driver, no footprints leading away, no signs of struggle, just a thin layer of fog inside the vehicle and a damp mark on the passenger seat, as if someone had been sitting there for a very long time. Locals will shake their heads when they hear about it. They will say the same thing they always say, that the mountain pass only has one road in, and that once you reach the point of no return, the road doesn't take you forward, it takes you back, back into the fog, back into the night, back into the place where the woman waits, still waving, still smiling, still counting the seconds until the next driver comes along. So if you ever find yourself driving through a mountain pass late at night, and the road feels too long, and the fog feels too close, and the radio turns on by itself, don't slow down, don't look back, and whatever you do, don't stop, because there is only one road into that mountain pass, and no one has ever returned. As the first pale light of morning crept over the mountains, the fog still refused to lift. It clung to the pass like a living thing, swallowing sound, bending distance, and erasing the horizon. When the rescue team finally reached the highest point of the road, their radios crackled with static, as if the mountain itself did not want them there. The car was exactly where the last signal had ended, parked neatly, engine still warm, headlights shining straight into the void. There were no signs of a struggle, no blood, no skid marks. The driver's door stood open, unmoving in the cold wind. Inside, the seat was empty, but the radio was still on, repeating the same broken sentence over and over in a distorted whisper. There is no way back. No way back. One of the rescuers noticed something strange. The road behind the car looked wrong. Which should have been a winding descent back to the valley now ended abruptly, as if the mountain had swallowed it whole. Where asphalt once stretched downhill, there was only solid rock, ancient and untouched. Then they saw the sign. A rusted metal post stood near the cliff, its surface scratched and scarred. It read, "One way in." Below it, carved deep into the stone, fresh, as if done only hours ago, were words none of the maps had ever mentioned. No way out. As the team stood frozen, the fog shifted. For just a moment, they thought they saw a figure standing farther up the road, watching them from the shadows. A man, or maybe many, silent, waiting. When they called out, the figure stepped back and vanished. The mountain grew quiet again. By the time the rescue team returned to the valley, the pass was already closed. Officials said it was due to a landslide, though no one could explain why the road no longer appeared on any satellite image. The missing driver's name was removed from the registry weeks later, as if he had never existed at all. But late at night, truck drivers still tell the same story. If you drive too far into the mountains, if you ignore the warning signs, you may find a road with only one way in. And once you do, the mountain will make sure you never find your way back.